Hey, what is up, everybody? We are live. We have Mike Rob here. My dealer was the MVP, of course. We have we're gonna do some drafters tonight. I know some people have been asking to do drafters. We have like 7 other people streaming Bestball right now, and they're all streaming over on Underdog. So we're gonna go ahead. This is the last Friday night that I am free. I do start work back next week again. So this will be the last Friday night stream we have until late next year. But we will get to news after the intro. We are now ready for the intro.
Hey, we're grinding through the torment. High volume, no management. Taming souls in descent. Grinding drafts through the abyss, no rest in our veins. Feel striking like lightning, flooding endless pains. From late season voids, he's dropping all the flames. Best ball, Degens unite, shattering the chains. Old school RB stacking fury, derailing trendy trains. Who is commanding the storm etched in our brains? Who hangs? Thunder in the names, claiming all the kills. Flames, names, games. Degen wrath of fuse, stone age torment remains. Best ball eternal, in remains infernal domain. Pterodactyl pigs screaming, Cayman chaos reigns. Fossil fury fuels the fire, drafting through the veins.
All right, welcome everybody. So we are gonna go ahead and join the $10 lobby over here on Drafters. These can take a little while to fill, but while we're doing this and while we're waiting, we will go over the news of the day. The biggest news is that Cliff Kingsbury is now on the Rams, right? Uh, it is. I don't know exactly which. He's joining their coaching staff. He's probably going to become like an assistant of some kind. It's not official what exactly he's going to do. So I this is something I kind of called. I didn't necessarily know what team it would be, but I assumed that Kingsbury, whenever he didn't get one of the head coaching jobs, he would end up going somewhere uh, as an assistant of some kind that's like not an OC, but also not a position coach. And I think it's a pretty good fit because it's hard for people to not respect McVay. Cliff knows Cliff is a seasoned veteran whenever it comes to being an OC. You know, uh he knows what he's doing. Like, love him or hate him, but he could still learn. Like, he could definitely get better. And I think the Rams are an absolute perfect fit for that. I think it's fine. I think it'll work out pretty well. Um, and then in other news, more on the Super Bowl stuff. Nick uh, Eman Worry looks like he's a full go for the week for the Super Bowl. Darnold obviously wasn't going to miss, but yeah, he's ready. Um, I kind of mentioned it the other day, like before the K Adams stuff come out. I heard a rumor that AJ Brown and Derrick Henry might have something going on, like that AJ Brown may end up going to the Ravens, right? Like, and apparently there are rumors now that kind of hint that that's something that is in the talks behind the scenes. So that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. And if you're just popping in, if you could smash the like, that would be awesome. We are waiting on 4. We are here on Drafters. And if you're new to Drafters, you can use promo code WHO, capital H, 2 little O's, for a 100% deposit match for up to $100. Cliff and McVay are going to kill the sorority houses when they visit USC for checking out the football team. I mean, they might. Wouldn't put it past them. Waiting on 3. So something I'm gonna do here pretty soon. Oh, by the way, Matt Stafford is officially back. I have not streamed since Matt Stafford's officially back. I've been saying for a while that Puka is number 5 until Stafford is fully back, and as soon as Stafford is guaranteed to come back, he's no longer 5. He is now 3. Puka is now 3 in my book. Uh, I was just waiting until I heard that officially, like having an extra share or two of Jamar Chase or JSN over him isn't that big of a deal. So like I want Bijan and Gibbs, right? Like those are the two people I want as many shares I can get of. Um, so I'm pretty happy with the Stafford coming back thing because I was pretty in, like I'd already taken several Stafford teams. I'd already taken several Devontae Adams teams, a whole bunch of Terrence Ferguson, a little bit of Colby Parkinson. All of those play pieces are just going to move up a little bit, maybe not a lot, but those pieces probably move up just a little bit. All right, time for the reveal. What pick do we get? We get the 101. Sorry, sorry, Lutz. Like I would trade the 101 if I could to somebody. I pick up the 101 all the time. I'm not complaining, not complaining, but it would be nice to have like to let other people get there as well. So we got the 101. We have Lutz at the 106, Game Tight at the 108, Corey Drellick at the 107, Kai at the 110, Louisiana Lightning at the 111. And it looks like Kai is gonna pop in. I figured Kai was already watching, but yeah, it's not, man. Like these drafts do feel so much better getting Bijan or Gibbs, right? Like getting one of these top 5 picks this year. Last year I kind of like picking to the back end a little more. This year I definitely think the top 5 picks feel significantly better than the back picks. I think that pick 6 feels like the worst spot because I feel like there's a clear guy there in Amon Ra, and I believe that nobody else believes that. So I just get a ton of Amon Ra. But at pick 19, it feels like there's like 18 players I feel very, very good about. I feel like the cliff is at 19, so sometimes you don't get a pick with it. And since you can get all those other combinations on the other side with Amon Ra. And Lutz talked about this the other day on my stream. Genty at the 106. It's something that may end up picking up steam. I don't think it will. I think he will probably become like the 100 or the 110, the 1010 for the most part. Like I think that he's going to solidify in the first round. So I don't mind doing that. And this gives you a little bit. Um, I really, if Kubiak's there, man, like Genty's ceiling is awesome. I know there's not an insane offensive line group out there right now for free agency, but the Raiders have 91 million. They have early pick, right? Like they can get some stuff done with the offensive line. And Colton Miller, their best player, like easily their best player on the offensive line, was hurt almost the entire season last year. So it absolutely makes sense. Oh, look at this. An absolute legend there. Whenever you're done doing the latter part of this comment, smash the like for me. It would be awesome. What I was reviewing some of my portfolio, and something that I'm not comfortable with right now is I basically don't have any Brock Bowers. And it's a lot of my lack of exposure to certain guys in the first couple of rounds is due to drafting position. And the one or two times early on that he was falling, I was actually just taking Nico Collins because I'm expecting Nico Collins to move way up the board, but it doesn't really look like that's going to happen anytime soon. So I need to take less Nico, I think, just to balance my portfolio out a little bit is all. Not because I think he's a bad pick. What's up, Jamie? What's up, Lutz? And I assume that Kai has came in here as well since then. So this is a full season scenario here. I was probably gonna take Rice there, although I'm not like incredibly confident that's the right move. I know I have Nico, Derrick Henry already. We're gonna do Brees Hall, Nico is what we're gonna do. Um, like I know I was just talking about not taking Nico every Bijan team because I pretty much have Nico and Bijan together in a lot of teams, but I know I'm almost positive I have Bijan, Nico plus Derrick Henry already. Yeah, Bayou went live, or he's going live in 15 or in 5 minutes. I'm probably just gonna do the one draft tonight. This is the last. I started off. This is the last Friday I'm gonna be able to stream. I do start work back up next week, and Fridays are the day I take off from streaming whenever I'm working. I will still generally have a Saturday night whenever I get home stream. It'll be random at what time it is, and a Sunday evening stream. I will probably have one at like 7 p.m. on Sunday nights. And then during the week on Monday through Thursday, I will have my 4 p.m. stream. But Fridays doesn't work out for me. So this is the last time. And I didn't do it at my normal time today because Friday evenings we've been doing lunch with my dad and my nephew. So figured since I can't do that anymore after this week, we were going to go ahead and do that and then jump on here whenever we get back. And that's what we're doing here. So if we only do one, if we get to 25-ish likes, 25-ish likes, and I mean, we got 12 people watching, like I'll do another one if we can get to like 20 to 25-ish likes. But if not, I'll be good being done tonight. I will probably stream again tomorrow. I'll probably mix in a drafters tomorrow as well. They have fixed the Scadaboo ADP for those of you who are not aware, but they didn't fix it correctly. They just moved him up above where he should be drafted. So it's kind of interesting that they went fully in the opposite direction. Yeah, I don't know. Like he was scheduled to be live at 7:15. Whenever Nice and Blunt's stream is over, I'm going to. And Nice and Blunt, by the way, putting together a stream right now. He does a really good job, and I'd recommend to add him to your listening cycle if you have not. But I usually try not to stream in the evening because it's much more competitive. But yeah, we have we're here, and hopefully Two Mules can make it over here. If Two Mules makes it over, I may do a second one anyway because they can't draft. Like a couple people I know cannot draft underdog, but tonight if we do draft a second one, it's absolutely going to be drafters again. So yeah, so let's look at the board and see what happened. Louisiana Lightning takes Cam Scadaboo at 38. I think Scadaboo's ADP should fall a little bit. I think it should be like kind of 45 to 50. But like I also think that if we find out that he's fully healthy, he becomes a pickup there with Josh Jacobs. I am worried about the Matt Nagy stuff for the offense as a whole, but I also believe that that's going to affect the passing game more than the running game. So yeah, I know what I would like to happen. We will probably not be allowed to do the thing that would like to happen. And hey, look, Lutz takes the guy. Some people just don't like Zay Flowers. I would have been okay going Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson pretty easily over here at the turn. I'm kind of getting scared on Devonta Smith. Like, man, I don't know. Like, if AJ Brown leaves, is it awesome for Devonta Smith, or is it really bad for Devonta Smith? I haven't quite figured out what I believe with that. like this is the order. I actually like Christian Watson more than most of those three players, but I don't want to have 20% Watson and not a whole bunch. Like I would like to be at like 11, 12% Watson and like 8 or 9% on these other guys. So all right, so he makes the decision for me. We will go Terry McLaurin and we will go with Luther Burden there. So through 5 rounds, we have Bijan Robinson. We brought Brees Hall up to get a little unique. Depending on the landing spot, Brees Hall is either going to fall 10 picks or raise 10 picks, right? Like if Brees Hall ends up on Kansas City, he's going to move up. Do I think he should move up to this spot? I think he'll move up to where Chase Brown is. I don't think he should be there. But if he lands at a spot that's not good, he's also going to fall to the other end of the draft, right? So I'm either getting a little bit of a value, and like if he re-signs with the Jets, he also falls, right? So I'm either getting a little bit of a value or I'm getting a unique team. So I feel like taking that there to get a little different. I think Kenneth Walker is priced like he's going to stay in Seattle as the lead back with the injury to Charbonnet. So I was fine passing on that to get a little different here. And obviously, I take Terry McLaurin for one reason. We will see if Jaden Daniels makes it back. Jamie, by the way, sent me several songs last night, and let me tell you, they're going to be fun. I enjoyed a bunch of them. Some of them, as I told them, I don't know how I'll use them, but definitely enjoyed almost all of them. There was one of them I didn't like, but he sent me, and the song, by the way, when I say songs, it's just music, not songs. Like there's no words. So, but one of them wasn't my jam, but he sent me like 15. So one of them being not my jam is like awesome. So we have I Am the Kai here, gets CMC at 10. That's kind of where I want to take him. Not worried about the situation in Philly. The Landon Dickerson possibly retiring stuff. I didn't mention that earlier. I don't know how I feel about them at all right now, because if Landon Dickerson retires, I'll talk to you about that later. I do really like it. I'm worried about some copyrights. I spent like an hour looking through copyright law today to figure out what does work and what doesn't work, kind of stuff. So, and I'm not a lawyer, but I just looked through some stuff to see what can and can't work. So Jaden Daniels doesn't make it back to me. He gets taken to 61. I'm not saying that's a bad pick. They could easily take Carnell Tate, and like that's a really good pick if that happens. I like the name Onion Knight too, by the way. I'm like 99% sure that is a Game of Thrones reference right there. The Onion Knight was that was Stannis was that Stannis Baratheon? Is that right? Was that Stannis the Onion Knight? I can't remember. I'm not sure yet. The goal's 20 likes to do a second stream. If we get to 20, I'll do another one. I was telling people that if you made it, I'm more likely to do one because you've been asking for a while. Yeah, there's some like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. I think that would fly, but I'm not positive, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a conversation to have off of the air. So just made it 9. I mean, we're up to 13. There's just a ton of people streaming right now, like a ton of people. So right here, I can do a lot of different things. I almost want to do something that I feel like is gross too. I have like 0 Sutton. So if Sutton, okay, I was gonna say if Sutton makes it, we're gonna take but Sutton. I have like no DK Metcalf. We're just gonna ignore. We're just gonna fully ignore quarterback right now. We're gonna go ahead and take 2 more, and we're just gonna have an absolutely stacked wide receiver room. We have Bijan Robinson. We have Brees Hall. We have Nico, Terry McLaurin, Luther Burden, Makai Lemon, and DK Metcalf. So I'll tell you what the gross thing was going to be. The gross thing was going to be to take Herbert and to pull QJ up. That was going to be the gross thing. Go ahead and pull QJ up 15 spots. That's how gross I was thinking. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. Sorry, guys. You know how, like, I mean, this emoji, like, perfectly is a perfect example of how my mind felt thinking about doing that. Because, like, I love Justin Herbert, man. Like, and I think Trey Harris and KLS are both, like, reasonable late picks. I don't have enough Arondé Gadsden right now. But, like, I could have done that and then pulled Gadsden up and had the non-McConkey stack. Had the Herbert, McConkey, Gadsden pretty freely. Because Gadsden goes at 102. So he would have been pretty free to get to me at 97. Especially if I'd already taken Herbert, right? So, like, taking Herbert there and pulling up QJ would have made my wide receiver room way worse, but it would have given me Herbert plus Gadsden. And Gadsden's a player I was kind of out on. Candyman and I kind of went back and forth between him and Britton Strange yesterday, and I think we convinced each other on the other player a little bit. Like, I'm still not like overly sold on Gadsden, but I was planning on being like a 3 to 4% guy. I think I'm going to be more like a 6%, 5 to 6% Gadsden guy instead. Now, right here, this is a good price for Harold Fannin. I would be taking Harold Fannin in this range for sure. So, Kai, you are welcome. You get the Lad Herbert stack at a good price. That feels really good. I think I've taken him a single time. And I think he's a really good pick. But like I've said several times, I'm picking at the front of the board over and over again. And I'm not taking Josh Allen at the 2-3 turn. We're not doing that. And I promise you, if he got there at the 4-5 turn, I would have him. Like, I promise you that. And whenever I'm at the other end of the board, there's a lot of players I really like. I think Ladd is a really, really good price this year. So there's just some things that I think aren't correct. And like Josh Allen rarely, like he usually goes to the 7, 8, 9, 10 hole, right? And those are the picks. Like, when I am picking at the back, I'm picking at 11 or 12. And I pick at 6 a bunch, but I don't pick at like 7, 8, 9 very often. So because I'm not picking at those picks, I don't have much of them. I do think he's a really good I think he's a solid pick on underdog specifically versus drafters. All right, so we're gonna take Bo Nix here, and probably I kind of like Algier over. Do I want Algier or Corum here? I'm going to take a share of Corum here. It's a little bit of a fall. I haven't got a bunch of them. Corum generally goes on the other side of the board, and he's kind of been on the other side of the board for most of the process. I think he's overpriced. I think he's going to fall. And I think when Algier gets signed, he's going to move up. So, but we're still a month away from that. But yeah, so we get our third running back in this Blake Corum with Bijan and Brees Hall. We have no tight end. We took Bo Nix there. I know what I would like to do at wide receiver or at quarterback, and it's also gross. It's probably not as gross as pulling QJ up 15 spots, but it is pretty gross. It is definitely pretty gross. If you guys are just popping in, we need to get 20 likes if you want a second drafters draft tonight. Yeah, I'm pretty positive there's no way. So for multiple reasons. Number one, they are absolutely not going to franchise him. Number two, it is a completely new coaching staff. So they have no allegiance to this guy, and he has no allegiance to them. So I'm pretty positive. Algier is honestly the absolute. He is just the slight upgrade to Javonte Williams that Dallas needs. I think he would be reasonably cheap. And I think if the Cowboys were to sign Algier, I think his price jumps up to the 5th round, to the mid-4th, right? If Algier is on the Cowboys, even with Javonte, if Algier and Javonte both are on the Cowboys, who are you taking first? Are you taking Algier or Javonte first? I think that they both get taken at the 5-6 turn at that point. I think Javonte falls a little bit, and I think Algier shoots all the way up the board. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. But I would want Algier over Javonte there, and maybe that's just disdain from multiple years ago. Because Javonte was actually good. He was actually decent last year, right? So I don't think that the Cowboys are going to do that. Yeah, and there's so I agree with this, but at the same time, this is what I believe could happen. Jerry Jones may be too dumb to sign a good running back. But hear me out. If I could definitely see Jerry Jones also being dumb enough to trade up into the draft to secure Jeremiah Love. I could absolutely see both of those things happening. To let Algier go for less than for bare minimum, not get him back, let Javonte walk, and then overpay draft picks to move up to take Jeremiah Love. I could see all of that happening in a giant storm of WTF, right? So you're welcome. You're welcome for that, guys. You won't be able to unthink that. He also drafted Zeke when everybody told him it was a dumb idea. Now, it kind of worked out. All right, so I was going to take Montgomery there. So Emmett hasn't went yet. I need to get some Jonah Coleman, but I'm going to continue to take Emmett Johnson while he's still priced like he's not going to go in the second round. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he doesn't end up going to the second round. But I'm going to continue to take him as I believe he's like a round 8 pick, not a round 11 pick. Not trying hard for Genty and selling the farm for Love would be fun. Yeah, it just sounds like the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys, right? Um, it really does just sound like something that would happen, and like I wouldn't even be shocked to see them pay big money to a free agent running back and then also trade away stuff to move up this year. Because Jeremiah Love on the Cowboys would be fantastic, right? Like if he gets past Kansas City at 9, which I hope he does, and he fell to the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys pick up 12? Like I think Jeremiah Love, like, even if they do take a couple guys in free agency, if Jeremiah Love is sitting there at the Cowboys at number 12, I think they would be kind of dumb to not take him, right? Like, it fits a lot of what they like. The only offensive issue they really have is that their offensive line is fine. They have a good quarterback. They're in a win now window. I think win now windows are where you need to be taking players like a Jeremiah Love. So, but I see it going the other way to where they're like, they just push for it, right? Instead of let it fall to them. So yeah. But yeah, the team right now, we have Bo Nix, we have Tyler Shuck, we have Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, Blake Corum, Emmett Johnson, Nico Collins, Terry McLaurin, Luther Burden, Mekhi Lemon, and DK Metcalf. I don't take much Metcalf. It's not going to shock anybody. I'm planning on taking Aaron Rodgers in this draft. I think that you want to build a team or two with the price of Metcalf right now and stack it up with Aaron Rodgers, because if Aaron Rodgers does resign, Metcalf moves up 15 picks and Aaron Rodgers moves up like 10 to 15 picks. That wide receiver room is so good, I had to smash that like button. Hey, thank you, sir. I mean, I was planning on doing that, but if CJ Stroud falls, like, I guess we could just take some Stroud. Juwan Johnson's the pick I really, really want here. I definitely need... Like, this team feels really good. Like, Bijan, Breece, Blake, Emmett, Nico, Terry, Luther, Mekhi, Metcalf. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the point. Like, and I'm not saying that you want to do it all the time, right? But it is something that I think mixing in makes some sense. So I'm kind of in on J.K. Dobbins right now too. I think that he's a little mispriced. So we're gonna do that. And we're going to pull up Troy Franklin here to get a stack with Bo Nix. So we may end up with just naked Tyler Shuck. I was really, really hoping to get Juwan Johnson. This is probably, like, I have way more Devon Vele than I really want. But Mekhi Lemon is absolutely in play at pick 8 or 9, wherever I think it's pick 8. Is it pick 8? NFL 2026 draft order. Yeah, it's at 8, right? Yeah, so I don't think it would be smart for him to take Mekhi Lemon at 8, but I could definitely see that being a thing that happens. Well, do I hear any objections? I almost took Kittle there. I don't think he's really going to play next year, but yeah, this is a 4 tight end team, right? The reason I took Franklin there is because I'm probably going to stop at 7 wide receivers, and this is going to be a 3-6-7-4. Since I didn't get Juwan, I'm not going to feel super comfortable with the tight ends. So we're just gonna hit it with volume. Um, and probably finish up the running backs in the next round, and then might even take. Yeah, we'll probably take. I mean, if one of these guys is available, we're gonna take them. Um, but I'm not like sold to have to do that either. But I do want to get my last running back. There's a lot of running backs here I do like. This room could absolutely be a really good room for Jonathan Brooks as well. I have Bijan, I have Brees, and then I have some guys, right? Dobbins should be really good. Emmett Johnson is either going to be awesome or awful. We're up to 16 likes. We have 6 more rounds. 6 more rounds, 4 more likes. That's what we need. If we get those 4 more likes, we're gonna make 2 mules day, guys. If you guys don't get us those 4 likes, you're basically giving the middle finger to 2 mules. Sorry, 2 mules, but yeah. I about said a really bad joke. I about said sorry, 2 mules, but I guess you're the ass of this joke. But I decided not to do that because it's not actually correct. But it is directionally accurate enough that like it makes sense in people's minds. But so I have been doing more research on the video stuff and like what hashtags to put in, stuff like that. I think starting next week, I'm going to be dripping out the videos I made for as actual videos, and I've been trying to make them all into shorts. That's a bit of a process, but I also have Emmett Johnson's done. I'm working on Jeremiah Loves right now, and I have one I done just for fun. Not like it's really stupid, but it's fun. So we got Theo may make it back. Schultz may make it back. Sean Tucker, I feel bad about having as much Sean Tucker as I have, but it's an offense I do want pieces of, and like I want a lot of Vidal, I want a lot of Sean Tucker, and after that, like I do feel like there's a gigantic drop off here. So, and if he goes, I'll take Katron and call it good there. I mean, I could just take those 2 tight ends. I think taking those 2 tight ends probably makes more sense. Yeah, so we're going to take him and... What do we want? We'll take Theo. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take Theo Johnson there. Like Sean Tucker is like the perfect finish to this room too. He's gonna have a job next year. I'm fairly positive that Dobbins ends up back in Denver as well. So it gives me a little bit of leeway into that offense. I could absolutely see Isaiah Likely signing with Denver. I actually think Denver may be I think that's a team that could take Michael Trigg or Stowers. I think they will take a tight end this year since old Evan Ingram wasn't very good. Never drafted on Draft. What's the difference between them and Underdog? Also, do they have a mobile app? I only draft from my phone. They do have a mobile app. It is a little different. So you can slide your picks over, but if you click the star, it does like it pops up like a whole player profile thing, and then you got to like scroll down to hit the draft button. I didn't know that there was another way to draft, but you can just click it and scroll over, and that drafts the player for you. So that made it easier to draft on the phone. If you would like to sign up with Drafters, you can use my promo code, capital H, 2 little O's, and you get a free $100 match. Put in 100, they'll give you 100 back. You have 200 to do some teams with. Yeah, they really do. We are 3 likes away. And like, if we get to 19, I can always log into my own, and I can always log in and give us the last one. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel, but I wasn't feeling great earlier, but I am still, now that I started streaming, like moving around a little bit more, I do feel a little better. So hopefully we get the likes. I would not mind doing another draft. Yeah, so I'm intentionally being sleep deprived right now because not tomorrow morning, but the morning after that, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. So, so there is that, good times. Adonai Mitchell at this price, like, I don't think it matters. Okay, I'm gonna say, I don't know who got Mitchell there, but it's just a good price. I would love, like, if Kelsey made it all the way back, I'd be ecstatic. There's a lot of really good tight ends here at the back end. I'm also, like, not so scared of not getting Aaron Rodgers that I feel like I have to pull him up here. And I'm fine. Like, if I got stuck with just Bo Nix, Tyler Shuck, I'm fine with it. Do I want that? Absolutely not. But we all know who I'm taking, right? We all know I'm taking Omar Cooper Jr. as my last wide receiver here. I'll probably honestly take two tight ends. I don't get to Parkinson as much, so I can see myself taking Parkinson here, and maybe I will just pull up Rodgers. I don't. I don't know. We'll do Cooper and Parkinson, and if Rodgers goes, Rodgers goes. And if he doesn't, like, Bo Nix plus Tyler Shuck isn't like the end of the world. I know that I don't have Shuck stacked at all here, but Shuck had a couple rushing touchdowns last year. How many did he have? He had 3 rushing touchdowns, and he had 2 of them in 1 week. And he started running a lot more at the end of the season, too. He had a 55-yard game. He had a 32-yard game. He had a 34-yard game. He had a couple where he didn't run at all. But he did have multiple 30-plus yard rushing games. And it took him a couple games to kind of get comfortable, you could tell. I mean, he was a rookie. So, yeah. Pepper Tony, apparently not on the Drake May MVP chat. Well, we got 16 votes in the poll. We'll be closing this once this draft is over. Still need the 3 more likes so we can do the second draft. It will also be on Drafters for those of you who want to draft Drafters. So, yeah, I really like this wide receiver room. We got Nico, Terry, Luther, Mackay, DK Metcalf, Franklin, my boy Cooper. So we're done there. Bijan, Brees, Blake Corum, Emmett Johnson, Dobbins, and Tucker, like, feels really, really good. So we really just need another quarterback, and there's a couple of them here. Like, if Penix makes it all the way back, I'm also fine stacking Penix with Bijan. And just taking 2 tight ends. Like if it comes back to me and Aaron Rodgers and Freiermuth are both available, I'll just take both of them and I'll just pick a tight end in the last round. I wish that you could lock. So just a little thing. I wish I could lock the names up here to where it doesn't ever not show the names on drafters, because like it works. I'm not. This site definitely works better functionally than DraftKings while trying to draft. DraftKings is a pretty bad experience. But I am excited to see what happens in the DraftKings lobbies whenever they open up. I'm assuming they're going to open up on Monday, because I was looking for the DraftKings best ball the other day and I could not find it. So I'm going to assume they wait until after the Super Bowl. Georgia defensive lineman Seymour, son of Richard Seymour, charged with 11 counts of property damage. Well, Seth McGowan has already been to jail for robbery, but he's still getting looked at by NFL teams right now as somebody that's they're interested in. So I don't think he'll get like high draft capital, but it's pretty bad timing to be doing that. All right, so we get Aaron Rodgers and Freiermuth there. I think this feels good. We have Bo Nix, Tyler Shuck, Aaron Rodgers, Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, Blake Corum, Emmett Johnson, J.K. Dobbins, Sean Tucker. Wide receivers, Nico, McLaurin, Burden, Lemon, Metcalf, Cooper, and Troy Franklin. Tight ends, Theo Johnson, Colby Parkinson, Pat Freiermuth. Question is, do I want an 8th receiver here or do I want a 4th tight end? I think I want the 4th tight end. I think that these other positions are solid enough. I think I just want the 4th tight end. And this is the kind of team I like taking a Michael Trigg on, or a shot on Arroyo, or something like that. Okonkwo did go here. I mean, I could even take I don't think Evan Ingram is going to return. I haven't actually looked it over the cap to see what the Evan Ingram situation is. I'm going to do that right now. I think that he's so for 2026, it would be 10 million dead money and 3 million cap savings if they cut him. So they would save 3 mil, but they still have to pay him. So they basically could keep him for 14 mil. Oh, it's basically 4 million that they would save. So they could basically pay him 14 mil and keep him, or cut him and only save 4 mil. So essentially, he's probably going to stay on that team, I would guess. And since I do have Bo Nix, it does make sense to take him. I will take Trigg if he's here. If he's not here, I will take a pick I don't like, which is Evan Ingram. Doesn't look like we're going to get to the likes. Sorry about that. If Two Mules is still here, say something in the chat. I might end up doing a second one anyway. I would kind of like to do a second one, but I also need to save some drafts too. So either way is fine with me. We're one away, it looks like. Oh, looks like we got it. So Yeah, we will be doing another drafters draft. I will be going over the teams of everybody who's in here. We'll go ahead and start that right now. Louisiana Lightning here. We got Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones. Running backs, Scadaboo, Stevenson, Pollard, Tajay. I like the combo there. Dylan Sampson, I'm having a hard time clicking, but I get it. He is a value. If they're not the worst offense in the league, that's a good pick. And Mike Washington. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Parker Washington, Wandale, the free agent Robinson, Rashid Shaheed, DK, you took Vele, how dare you, Malik Washington, Trey McBride, Jake Ferguson, and Jake Tonjes. Yeah, I think that's a really good team. We'll take Evan Ingram, like we were saying. I'm going to go ahead and join the next lobby. I'm doing it on another browser right now. So if you want in, go ahead. I will review these teams while we're doing that. Somebody in the chat, let me know if it fills. We got a 3683 going for I Am the Kai. We got Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, Jacoby Brissett at 202. Like, if I wasn't specifically doing the Aaron Rodgers thing here, I would have absolutely taken him with my pick at 190 for sure. Christian McCaffrey, Barkley, Kyron, Chuba, Connor, Rodriguez. Can you name me six? Like, you're missing Derrick Henry. Like, if Saquon Barkley pick was Derrick Henry, you may have the oldest running back room possible to draft. Not that that's a bad thing. It's actually a pretty solid room if they're healthy. Like, if Connor is actually healthy and McCaffrey isn't phased by the 400 touches, like, this is a really, really good room. Wide receivers, Ladd McConkey, Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas, Kayshon Boutte, Pat Bryant, Trey Tucker, Ryan Flournoy, and Alec Io Manor. So you got the double stack here with Ladd McConkey, Gadsden, and Herbert. You got the fall on them. That feels really good. And then Terrence Ferguson and Arroyo. You have Stafford. So you only did Stafford plus Ferguson, and you got Ferg at a value there. What did you get? So you got a nice little discount on Stafford. So you basically took him naked and then waited on the tight end to stack. You just got value all over, right? Like, you pulled Chuba up due to scarcity there, but other than that, like, every pick is almost value. Brian Thomas, I know it doesn't show value, but let's be honest, that's probably value. All right, we got game tight. We're waiting on 3, by the way. Waiting on 3 for a drafters. A 3683, Joe Burrow, Bryce Young, Kyler Murray. Running backs, Achane Hampton, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Brooks, Jaden Blue. Wide receivers, J-Mo, DJ Moore, Jalen Coker, Matthew Golden, Elijah Surratt, Trey Harris, Jalen Knoll, Andre Yoshivas. Tight ends, Sam Laporta, Kyle Pitts, Mike Gesicki. So you backstacked Burrow. Got a little bit of a fall on Burrow, took him naked, and then backstacked him with Gesicki. You don't really have stacks, but they do matter a little less on this website. You have the Coker stack here, and you have a Gesicki stack. Skinny stacks aren't as bad on, like, these really thin stacks aren't near as bad on drafters. I think you still, the highest chance of Burrow being the quarterback you need probably brings along Higgins or Chase. But it's not for sure that happens. Corey, if you want reviewed, say something in the chat. I'm not sure if you're here or not. I know Lutz is. We got 3683. Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Michael Penix. He pulled Genty up, got Jeremiah Love, Tyrone Tracy, Jordan Mason, Tank Bigsby, Nick Singleton. A guy I've been following for a couple of years now that does specifically rookie stuff that I really like. He finally put out his Singleton stuff. He also really doesn't like Singleton. He thinks he's going to be a 6th-round pick, and he said that he thought he was going to be a 5th-round pick before the foot stuff. We're waiting on 2. By the way, waiting on 2 for a drafters. So that was, it was nice for me to see, because I do know that he has upside though. So I'm not going to full fade him. Wide receiver, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Worthy, Casey Concepcion, Hunter, Zachariah Branch. Tight end, Tucker Kraft, Isaiah Likely, Michael Trigg. Yep. That's the kind of team I like to throw Trigg on for pure upside. I'm going to go do something in this other screen real quick. So we are waiting on 2. While I'm doing something on the other screen, we're going to go ahead and play the countdown video. Join drafters if you have not and you would like to.
Bestball began the rest. We never leave the brine. Fury. Endless. Picks. Relentless. Fantasy. Reigns. Who waits? Immortal.
All right, we are back. So we are still waiting on 2. These take a while. So what do you guys think of the team that I drafted? I'll let you guys review my team since I reviewed all of yours. The only team I had any question on was Game Tights, and it's just because like same thing as last year, and we didn't actually get a clear answer on if Naked Burrow was worth it or not, right? I'll draft younger running backs this time to mix it up. It would be, the challenge would be to draft older running backs. that would be the challenge. Yeah. So we'll let the chat review my team. We got a 3-6-7-4. We got Bo Nix, Tyler Shuck, Aaron Rodgers. Running backs: Bijan, Brees, Blake Corum, Emmett Johnson, Dobbins, Tucker. Wide receivers: Nico, McLaurin, Burden, Mekhi Lemon, DK Metcalf, Troy Franklin, Omar Cooper. Tight ends: Theo, Colby Parkinson, Fryermuth, and Evan Ingram. I did get sniped on my Tyler Shuck stack. So we do have naked Tyler Shuck there. Not my favorite team, but I think it's solid. Like, I really like the running backs and wide receivers for sure. I believe Frank Gore is in the pool. I guess we'll find out. We're waiting on 1. We need one warm body for the drafters. But yeah, let's go look. Oh, I'll show you. So I did a pick'em earlier. This is my Super Bowl pick'em. It was my free $5 ticket. If you want, you can follow. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not necessarily great at these, but AJ Barner over 12.5 longest, Cooper Kupp under 16.5 longest, Drake May over 14.5 longest rush, and Darnold over on completions. So, all right, we're actually picking in the middle here. That's awesome. We got Louisiana Lightning at the 1. We have Kai at the 6, Corey at the 8. I got the 9, 2 Mules at the 10. Taco Guy Dave, I think, listen sometimes. Shout out if you do. And anybody in our chat can go in here and tell me they don't care. It'd be just for comedy. Oh, yeah. Alex is at 7. Oh, Omelet. Yeah. I'm going to have a really hard time remembering that name, Alex. I think Theo Park and Fries is a solid room without the 4th. I agree. Like, Do you think that like I do kind of agree with that, but at the same time, like, does it feel like any of uh my other positions were lacking? Like, do you think that room needed an eighth wide receiver or a seventh running back? Like, I kind of feel like the pick was free there. And I think the depth at tight end kind of helps a little bit. I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm just curious. Maybe it needed another wide receiver. If there was another wide receiver in New Orleans that like wasn't going to get replaced, I think I would. You want to know about Ryan Flournoy, sir? This is what I think about Ryan Flournoy. Um, I've been pounding the Ryan Flournoy drum the entire offseason. So I am absolutely for Ryan Flournoy. I was saying that like worst case scenario, Pickens resigns and he just stays a pick down here. And if Pickens doesn't resign, he moves up like 8 rounds. Thanks for playing along, Alex. I don't know what my drafter's exposure to him is. I'll look that up. And on another. Oh yeah, like that was one of the very first things I identified in these lobbies. Um, I it doesn't feel good, but you have to take some CMC here and there. I'm not going to full fade it. I'm going to do what I did last year, 5 to 6%. Um, I don't like it, but I'm I'm not going to love it. What if Tolbert, but actually good? Well, I was really big on Turpin last year, who like like Turpin probably is still draftable if you have a DAC stack because he has the single week spike week stuff, which we seen in week 17 last year. Did it hit the lineups? No, but like he still had a spike week in that he still had a spike week there. That is from last year. Yeah, so drafters doesn't have current exposures or I missed them. Um hmm. We'll do Jefferson. We'll take the most volatile room you can possibly take. We'll take CMC and Justin Jefferson. Like whatever the most volatile pick is here at 33, we're doing it. Uh, it's probably going to be AJ Brown. That pick feels pretty volatile right now, but we're going to have a theme. We're just going to go all boom, all the way through. Happy Friday, by the way. Greg Roman joins Nagy. Completely out of dart. Uh, that's an interesting thing. Like they've already figured out that like Matt Nagy gets a job and less than a week into his job, they already figure out that he's awful at what he does. So they had to bring in help. I'm a Chiefs fan, so I knew that he sucked. Maybe it is maybe it's a good sign that they already figured out that he sucks. Because as bad as Greg Roman kind of is, he is an absolute upgrade from Matt Nagy. uh yeah, yeah, it honestly is. But putting a passing game into into Matt Nagy's hands is very scary. Very, very scary. All boom, baby. All boom. So that means I got to take Scadaboo here, right? Too like AJ Brown, then Scadaboo, assuming Scadaboo makes it. I don't think I don't think Q Mules is a Scadaboo guy. Yeah, I that's actually really good news for Scadaboo. Oh, excuse me. Roma tends to get less passes than Cam. Yeah, Yeah, I started the off season really, really in on neighbors being healthy. So like I started with a bunch of him. Every draft I had that I was at the back end, which I took neighbors because I thought he was mispriced. Um, so what's the most boom pick left? Is it T Higgins or is it Tet? It's Tet, right? Or is it Garrett Wilson? What's the biggest boom pick? Put it in there. Uh, is it Higgins? Is it Tet? I think it's Tet, right? Like that's where I'm at. I think the biggest boom play here is Tet. We got one vote for Tet. We got one vote for T. Let's see. Loveland. We could absolutely do Loveland in the next round. We like the next round is between Loveland and Scadaboo. That is yeah. I also after I decided I was going to be in on him, I've heard like the non-committal stuff and all that stuff that like it might be going on. We're still so far away. There's no reason to like if Neighbors comes out and is absolutely fully healthy at this point, does his ADP go up? It pretty much stays the same, right? So you could just get your shares later at slightly higher ADP. Like, I do you think Neighbors ends up if he gets a full clean bill of health with the current situation? Is he going to move up past Achan, Genty, McBride, London? I don't think so. I mean, do we take Jacobs here? I was all about the meme, but like Josh Jacobs at 40, I'm just doing it. Like sorry about the bit guys, but the bit had a limit and it's Josh Jacobs at 40. Although Josh Jacobs absolutely ruined my poodle team and ruined the Toxic Towers Bestball Mania team. At 40, I think you have to do it. Like I know that there's some worries, but like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Uh, like I don't want zero Jacobs, and I'm getting close to zero Jacobs at this point. Right? Yeah, like I think he was a fine pick at 33, right? You almost took him there. Like I Loveland was the bit pick, but like this feels good. CMC, Jefferson, McMillan, Jacobs feels pretty good. And I am actually a pretty big fan of Loveland this year. I I'd have a hard time taking him generally taking Loveland over Devontae Adams now that like do we expect Devontae Adams to slowly creep up in ADP now that Matt Stafford has confirmed he's coming back? I kind of expect him to creep up. Um, like I think that he definitely moves up over Jameson Williams at some point, and I I probably won't have him over McConkey, but I could see him moving up before McConkey as well. So one of my favorite clicks on the board is Christian Watson. There's no way the Who crew is going to let him fall to me, though. I know this. Um, let's see what Nita. That's what's weird. I didn't put the background music back on. Sorry about that. Uh, so two mules, CD Lamb, Neighbors. Like Neighbors is either one of the best or one of the worst picks on the board. Kind of like Jefferson. Like they're very much the same bucket. They're either awesome or bad where they're going. Uh, so CD Lamb, Neighbors, ETN pulled up RJ Harvey. I don't see a lot of people pulling Harvey up. I don't know how I feel about Harvey getting pulled up like that. I'm kind of out on Harvey. He wasn't incredibly good as a runner, but some of that could be that he uh, he just hadn't learned the offenses well enough. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take Drake May here. I do actually believe that Drake May should be quarterback 3. I thought I was going to be on a limb saying that, but he started as quarterback 2. He's fallen enough past Lamar and Josh Allen that I do feel like he's a fine pick again. I didn't love his price early. And especially now that you can almost guarantee a stack of Diggs at about 81. Because Stephon Diggs goes to 83, right? So generally you can get Diggs down here. Now, and if you don't, like Kayshon Boutte goes so late right now. And it's like, I don't think like Lemon goes, but if Lemon sometimes comes back in this part of the draft too. And I'm not sold that the NFL is either going to absolutely love Lemon or they're going to let him slide to the back end of the first round. Now, does he have a chance at all to pass the Bills? No. But maybe the Patriots would move up to the early 20s to take a guy like Mekhi Lemon. I don't know. So DeAndre Swift is an awesome pick right now. I will definitely take him, and I'll take Ramondre. I'll take either one. Ramondre started catching passes at the end of the season. I think that's a stack that like I don't love, but I will do. I'm pretty sure Two Mules is not a DeAndre Swift fan. We will see. We'll see what they do. You gonna mess with me? Look at this. Look at him letting the time click down. He's just toying with me right now. What are you doing, Two Mules? You toying with me? All right, so we get Swift. So the team right now, we have Drake May, we have Chris McCaffrey, we have Josh Jacobs, we have DeAndre Swift, we have Justin Jefferson and McMillan. I really wish I would have taken Genty instead of McCaffrey here. I prefer Genty to McCaffrey this year right now. And I hate that this team is a McCaffrey team, to be honest with you. But I love the team, and I do want some McCaffrey teams. I just want some more Genty teams this year than McCaffrey. What's up, Adam? Drafting out the five spot here. First time checking out the stream. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you like it. If you do like it, if you could smash the sub, that'll help me out a lot. Very close to 400 subs. And at 500, if we hit 500 subs before the NFL draft, I'm going to do an 8-hour live stream after the draft in Bestball. Probably whenever Underdog releases the first puppy or whatever. Like one of those days, I will do an 8-hour live stream, and I'll bounce back and forth between the different websites because I am able to draft on Drafters, on Underdog, and on DraftKings. So I'll probably bounce between the multiple sources and draft, and I will probably have my custom. Like I make my own custom rankings generally. Like I'm not using them right now, but yeah. What's up? Massive Audio America Latina 8794. What's up? It took me a while. Like that is the single longest name I have seen as a tag. Congratulations on having the longest tag. So I really like this, but I definitely can fall behind at wide receiver here. So I'm going to push the rest of my, like, Stephon Diggs does go, which does kind of suck. And I don't love these wide receivers. So honestly, I'm taking one of these guys or a quarterback. Like, I will take DeAndre Swift, Caleb Williams if it gets to me. And just be done at Drake May, Caleb Williams. Like, we will absolutely do that. Am I missing something with Pearsall? Slow draft on man, pick 93. His ADP is. Some people are just very scared on Pearsall. That's it. Like, some people are just incredibly scared on Ricky Pearsall. So we're gonna go ahead and take Tucker Kraft here. That's a really good pick by Corey there. He also has Rome, so like it absolutely makes sense. That's a fantastic push. Like Caleb was going. Like I took a share or two of Caleb, like because I was scared earlier, but his ADP is starting to slide a little, and I think he's kind of getting to become a value. Yeah, you're not missing anything. The man can't stay healthy. Like, I really like the pick. His upside is immense. I like it, but that doesn't mean everyone else is comfortable with it at all. I mean, I'm fine with Ricky Pearsall as my wide receiver too, if it happens to go that way, you know. Are we just gonna let? I haven't seen a lobby like this. It's just letting quarterbacks fall. This is crazy. Like I was planning on stacking. Okay, I'm glad that happened. I don't have like any Alec Pierce. We're gonna go with Alec Pierce here. I could have went with Jackson Dart. I assume Jackson Dart's ADP is very volatile right now and is going to continue to plummet. And if you guys remember from my before Best Ball stream started, I actually didn't have this is like right where I had Jackson Dart slated. I had him as quarterback like 12. I thought that sorry, Mules. Like, if we go over to my underdog exposures, you will see I am a huge Tucker Kraft fan. And like, the reason I have so much Jaden Reed is because I take Tucker Kraft all the time, then I take Jordan Love, and then Jaden Reed's just available for a double stack. So I do that. Like, Tucker Kraft is my number 3 tight end. Like, absolutely. Like, he is absolutely my number 3 tight end. Like, I have him ahead of Colson Loveland. Call me crazy, but that's where I'm at with Tucker Kraft. Now, I'm not going to draft it that way because if I can get value, I'm going to get value. I'm not going to get 35% of the guy because he is coming off of an injury. But I think value-wise, he's one of the best picks on the board. The man last year, we'll go to this Google sheet that I have. Like, if you go by, this is half point PPR, not full point PPR. But Tucker Kraft, in the 8 games he played, had 12.65 fantasy points per game. And McBride had 14.88, which is insane. But the second highest was 12. Like, he had 0.6 higher than Kittle, who was awesome, than Bowers. Like, I know that it's a new season, but it kind of felt like LaFleur let the offense get unleashed a little bit the second half of the season. Yeah, and that exactly. Like, I'm a Kansas City fan. Believe me, I am not a fan of Matt Nagy. I am very much not a fan of Matt Nagy. I was kind of in on the Giants as a team. I just thought Dart was valued a little too high because of health stuff. But man, like, this run out couldn't be worse. And somebody in the chat, I guess just a little bit ago, maybe I missed it from earlier, but Greg Roman got hired as a run game coordinator for him as well. So some people really dislike Greg Roman also. So if you're one of those guys, you're going to like the situation even less, right? So Xavier Worthy is on the board. We could easily take Mahomes if Mahomes is here. Or we could take Jennings as a good pick. We could do the double stack with Coker. So Jordan Love does go. I don't know. Like, I highly doubt Bryce Young goes before 126. I could do that. I think I just take Mahomes if he falls, and hope to get Xavier Worthy back, right? And if Worthy doesn't come back, we'll just take the value again with Mahomes at 105 here, and we'll queue up Xavier Worthy. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm fine with. Like, I actually think in full PPR, I think Shakir's a pretty solid pick. Right, especially on a team like this, because Shakir will fill in the gap of the upside swings that I'm going to have to take later to make up at that position. And besides, Neighbors doesn't have elite weapons. Yeah, and Wandale is a free agent as well. I need to be sniped to get different. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't get upset when people snipe me because it forces me into something I wasn't planning on doing. And if every one of my Tucker Craft teams have Jordan Love, I am not really doing anything different, right? Like, it's. So do I want DJ? Yeah, we're gonna take DJ Moore. DJ Moore, if he leaves Chicago, he ends up being a fantastic value. If he doesn't leave Chicago, he's basically priced pretty correctly. So he's kind of a low risk, high reward pick. And I say that as somebody who hasn't really drafted them at all. Excuse me. I went out to lunch and it definitely messed with me a little bit. So sorry about that. Another pick I haven't gotten too much is Juwan Jennings. I just haven't got there a whole lot. So you're all welcome. I actually didn't take Emmett Johnson here. Emmett Johnson is a fantastic pick. But there's so many of these running backs that I like that are still on the board right now. And I have CMC, Jacobs, and Swift, right? I don't really need to worry that much about it. And Tucker Craft feels awesome. Like, I'm definitely just going to wait. Unless there's a massive fall later, I'm just going to wait and get two guys at the end of the draft. I'll probably pull Kelsey up a little bit. Since I didn't end up getting Xavier Worthy, I will probably pull him up a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked to see Kansas City be a team to draft. Like, nobody's talking about this at all. I wouldn't be shocked to see Kansas City draft Carnell Tate or Mekhi Lemon at 9. Like, I think that's a bigger hole that we need to fill than Jeremiah Love. Like, now, I don't think it happens because I think we're smart enough to do offensive line. But I think the team, like, although Rashee Rice is awesome, I think the team's over him, right? And if the team's over him, that means that we need to draft a wide receiver this year. And Worthy kind of didn't work out. So, and maybe that was because Travis Kelce blew up his shoulder. Maybe it's because he sucks. I don't know. Jury is definitely still out. We will take Jonah Coleman here. I have Coleman under Emmett Johnson. So when Emmett Johnson goes, I do need to get a share or two. This is the exact kind of room I want to add him into. Like it feels very, very good as a fourth. I'm probably gonna stop at 5 running backs. I'll probably add an old guy late. And now we just smashed the booty, right? Like we got Drake May. We can just smash the booty. Dart didn't have Neighbors last year and was quarterback 5 and points per game. Yeah, you're not wrong. He also missed. He left the game multiple times. I guess he only actually missed 3 full games. And 2 of those was games that Russell Wilson started, right? How many games did Russell Wilson start? Because that shows that he had 14 games. I'm going to look it up in a different browser real quick. So Jackson Dart. I mean, I don't know why I'm not just doing it here to where you guys can see it. So nothing week 1, 2, or 3. All right, so we're back on the clock. We get to do our thing. We get to smash the booty. I care. Thanks, Louisiana Lightning. I appreciate you, sir. Just like the kid show I watched whenever I was like 6-year-old. I care. If you're my age, you'll remember. So yeah, Jackson Dart, he missed week 14 and week 11 and 12. Okay, so I need to adjust this chart because this chart gave him stats for the weeks that Russell Wilson ran. So I actually need to go in and fix this. Thanks for saying something. I'm gonna need to change that because it's given him 14 games, which is technically right because he suited up, but he didn't play on 2 of those games or 3 of those games because those were Russell Wilson starts, right? Which means I need to remove 3 of those. So if I remove 3 of those, I mean, I can do the math real quick. So 248 points, not divided by 11. Yeah, so he was actually at 22.6. So this is the actual number. So if I sort again, like if you use those numbers, he was number 1 in fantasy points per game. That would be removing weeks 1, 2, and 3. So going from, yeah, because it said he had 14 games played, and he had 12 games played. So that's wrong too. So I'll fix it later. So basically times 11 equals 22.6 multiplied by 11. Oh, it's not on the calculator. That's why. Multiplied by 11 divided by 12. So it's 20.71 was his actual number. So I'll go back to that sheet again and change it. 20.71. Yeah, thanks for saying something there, Corey. I have to input some of the data by myself, and I don't double check all of the stuff that I get. So whenever I see something that doesn't align with what I was seeing, I like to go look at it and make sure. So if I'm ever saying something that you guys think is false, it might be. I have the data that I have. I didn't do it myself, right? So I just want the correct information, and I don't want to give people the wrong information either. Absolutely Hunter Henry every time with Drake May that I can. So we feel very, very good about this. We feel pretty good about the running back room too. I think I don't love the wide receivers here, to be honest with you. But I also think that these tight end or these running backs fall off a lot by my next pick. So I just need to take somebody I like. Jordan Mason is a guy I haven't taken very much that I could definitely take here. 25 isn't the number for a bigger board. And by the way, I specifically said tonight was going to be only drafters because the drafters crowd doesn't get enough love. Okay, sorry, no offense to everybody, but the drafters crowd doesn't get enough love. I like to try to give them something. If we get to 35 likes, which I don't think we will, but if we get to 35, I'll do another drafters. So what do we want here? I kind of want to just take Rachaad White here. I am not from Kansas City. I'll bring that comment up in a second. Oh, I am a KC fan. If you listened to me last year, I specifically told you that Jalen Royals, well, number one, I didn't like him as a prospect. And number two, he's the exact kind of guy that Andy Reid drafts and doesn't develop very well in the first year. Sometimes that style of player Andy Reid will develop in a second year. And this year, I still don't love him as a prospect. But this year specifically, I think that in round 20, he is absolutely worth a click on Mahomes teams. I wouldn't go overboard with it, but right now, Kansas City has Rashee Rice, who may end up being in jail on the roster. We have Xavier Worthy, and we have who else do we have? We have I know Hollywood Brown's a free agent. Nico Remigio is a restricted free agent, I believe, or an exclusive right. He's one or the other. Tyquan Thornton's a free agent. I think I said Hollywood Brown already. Which means that it's like just Royals, right? It's like just Royals and Worthy. So on the roster at the moment for Kansas City, Xavier Worthy, Juju, Jalen Royals, Rashee Rice, and maybe Jimmy Holiday. But like with that being said, they're absolutely going to add somebody at some point, right? Which is another reason why I think Kansas City could be a shock team to draft a wide receiver in the first round. I don't think we do it. I think Kansas City absolutely looks at a wide receiver in early round 2. I think we're in the KC Concepcion, Omar Cooper, Elijah Surratt, Jeremy Bernard range. I think Kansas City gets one of those wide receivers this year. I was so like, I promise you, very few people. I didn't hear anybody talk as negatively about Royals as I did last year. And like, I was even more out on it whenever he went to Kansas City specifically. Not only because I didn't like him as a prospect and we took him, but because I didn't like the fit. I didn't like the fit for him. Now, I was also the most in person in the world, probably in the world, for Damian Martinez. So I'm not saying that I was perfect by any means. Like, because being wrong on, like, I was more wrong on Martinez than I was right on Royals, you know? So, like, uh, definitely took an L there. Definitely took an L there. Like, hand up. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's fine. It's fine. I was wrong. But then I was absolutely right with the Royal stuff. But if you evaluate, you're going to have that both ways, for sure. We're going to go ahead and take Ryan Flournoy here. I think he's one of the best picks on the board, specifically for a team like this that needs some floor late in the draft. We filled out our tight end room. We're probably done at quarterback, probably done at running back. This is a team that if he comes back, like if he's there in the last round, I'm taking Jalen Royals. But I'm not going to take Jalen Royals. Like, I'll take him at 225. If anybody wants Royals before 225, great. You can have them. But I'm willing to take Royals on teams with Mahomes this year. And last year, I did like 1,300 best ball teams last year, including pre-draft. And I think I had, so post-draft I did like 1,000. And post-draft I had like 3 total shares of Jalen Royals. Like 3. Before the draft, I did like 400 and I had like 12. So, but I also had 37% Martinez. Whoops. Which taught me to not take stands as aggressively as I did last year. And I by the way, I did see this, Kelly. Sorry I didn't bring it up. I was in the middle of a rant. Can't hold me back. Can't hold me back. But I can't get there on Jerry Jeudy, but I absolutely understand it. Jerry Jeudy is the one pick that I look at that I'm like, I'm going to feel so dumb when the number 1 on a team who's going at around 14, like, repays value for like round 10 or even 9. Like, whenever he gets 800 yards and 6 touchdowns, it's going to feel really dumb to not have him. Like, he doesn't need to smash to beat that ADP, right? So I think that it's a really smart place to be. And I'm kind of coming around to Shadur being one of the better picks on the board. I don't really see them not starting him next year, right? I just don't see him not being on the team. Todd Monken has already told them that they wanted to draft him last year. So, yeah. I will definitely take a mem share here if he falls or if he gets to me. I'm having a hard time for Kyle Williams next year too. I'm already got 2 pass catchers for Drake May. I'm good there. I feel very good about my my running backs. I think CMC, Jacob, Swift, Coleman, White is very good. Yeah, number 1 and late. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a very smart pick. Like, it's absolutely a smart pick. So it's just one that I can't. I've been a lifelong Jerry Jeudy hater, so I probably need to just do it here and there. It's so cheap. Like, it's such a good price for somebody who's like a number 1. I'm gonna look up what he did last year real quick, because so he had 600 yards and 2 TDs. That's not very good, but it would be very hard for their offense to be less functional than it was last year. You say your husband's smart. Is that what you said? Uh, all right, we'll take Jeremy Bernard. I was gonna take McCarthy if he made it back, but I wanted, like, if Mims went, I might have taken McCarthy. I'm fine with Drake May plus Mahomes, but I would have been fine with McCarthy 20 picks past ADP with Jefferson. Not much, huh? What does not much mean? And by the way, if you're drafting on a stream with me, I will review your team the first time you're in a lobby with me every stream, at least until I have 12 people in every lobby. So like I reviewed Louisiana's last time, Kai's last time. I missed Corey's because they hadn't talked yet. I wasn't sure if they were here. I reviewed 2 mules last time. We will definitely do omelets and the 5 holes for sure. And if anybody specifically wants me to go over their team that I reviewed before, say something. I will. I don't think we're getting to 35 likes, so I'm probably going to be done after this stream, or after the reviews. And Mule doesn't like his team, so I'm doubting he wants a. If you leave it for 226, I gave you the warning. I cannot remember not much. I try to forget 90% of what I say the second it comes out of my mouth. Just plausible deniability. Plausible deniability is very important. I'm sure I didn't use that terminology correct, but we're gonna go with it. That's what we're going with. So, and if you want, whenever we're done, whenever I reviewed, like, I might, like, if you guys want to see 1 or 2 of those highlight videos I made, I could do that as the stream winds down. I have some that I'm going to start posting them as actual videos at some point. I'm still trying to figure out, like, the algorithm, like what's the best way to release them, because I've put some work into them. I have like 12 of them to release. I just want to make sure I don't hurt myself, and it's all draft prospect stuff, so it's just stylized highlight videos. But I figure about the time the combine happens would be a good time to release them, right? Like, I feel like doing them right now before the Super Bowl would get less views, so I'm kind of waiting until after the Super Bowl to do that. So we have 9 receivers here: Jefferson, McMillan, Pierce, Moore, Booty, Flournoy, Mims, Bernard, Royals. Do I want another quarterback, or do I want another wide receiver? All right, McCaffrey, Jacobs, Swift, Coleman, White. That feels good enough. I don't have any Zachariah Branch. And I've talked about this before. Like, I have a bunch of players kind of in the same tier, and Zachariah Branch is actually near the bottom of that tier, and a whole bunch of guys who are undrafted are in the same tier. And this guy's drafted in like 100% of drafts. So you don't, like, it's not that I want to fade him, but I'm more likely to take Antonio Williams, who is never drafted, who I have rated 1 pick ahead of him, just because of positional scarcity. Like, or not, that is not the right term, but just because, like, a low owned guy, when they pop, it helps out so much more, right? So that's like one reason I haven't been taking Branch much. this might be my first share of them, but we are done. We have a 2-5-10-3. First time I've made this build structure this season. Drake May, Patrick Mahomes, CMC, Josh Jacobs at pick 40, DeAndre Swift at pick 64, Jonah Coleman, Rashad White, wide receivers, Jefferson, McMillan, Pierce, DJ Moore at 112, Kayshon Boutte, Ryan Flournoy, Marvin Mims, Jeremy Bernard, Jalen Royals, Zachariah Branch, tight ends, Tucker Kraft, Hunter Henry, Travis Kelce. On a scale of boo to hooray, where you guys put it? Just put in a word of adornment, and I'll try to figure it out where it plots on the scale of 1 to 10 between boo and hooray. We got all right. Was it? Go ahead and the 5-hole. Go ahead and type in chat again. It's your name is buried, so I can't bring it up. But the 5-hole here, 2693. We got Lamar Jackson. We got Malik Willis. And if you're not proud of your work, you don't have to say anything. And act like you've forgotten about it. No, I was definitely not here. Io, says Adam. Chase Brown, Javonte Williams, Emmett Johnson, who I absolutely love, J.K. Dobbins. It's almost like you started watching at the last one and copied the homework. Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones. Yeah, that's really solid. I think Lamar Jackson, Malik Willis is enough. Some may not. It's definitely thin, but it absolutely is something that if it was an 18-round format, like you feel fine about. Wide receiver, JSN, AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, Quentin Johnson, Wandale, Alec Iomanner, Cedric Tillman. I haven't taken him yet, but I do think that he's worth mixing in. Isaiah Bond really started getting deep later in the season. And I'm kind of worried on Tillman. I loved him going into last year. Keenan Allen and Bateman, wide receivers or tight ends, Tyler Warren, Dallas Goedert, and Cade Otton. So you got the Rashad Bateman stack. Are you planning on Willis to land somewhere, or you just take the 2 rushing upside guys? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, I think Emmett Johnson finishes as like a round 8 pick. I think after the NFL, I would be shocked to not see Emmett Johnson go early round 3 or round 2 in the NFL draft myself. And then we got Alex here. We got a 2-6-9-3. We got Josh Allen. We have Trevor Lawrence. We got Saquon Barkley, Kyron Williams, Ramondre, James Conner, Katron. Katron just keeps falling and falling. And I like him as a prospect, but I'm having a really, really hard time taking him right now, knowing that he's going to be free in a week. I still like him just as much. I still think he's clearly the running back 5 in this class. But I want to get a bunch of shares of him in the 180s. So I've stopped taking him so I can assist the drop. We got Adam Randall. It's a really solid squad. 4 old guys and then a little bit of youth there. Only one of them really has an injury issue. The Landon Dickerson stuff really scares me with Saquon, though. I will say that. I was very, very bullish on Saquon, but if Landon Dickerson retires like is rumored right now, I don't know. I'm definitely taking my foot off the gas on Barkley. I'm definitely going to be probably 8%, but I'm definitely taking my foot off the gas. Wide receiver, Amon-Ra, Cardell Tate, Michael Pittman, Juwan Jennings, Travis Hunter, Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper, somebody likes Indiana, Jalen Knoll, Isaiah Bond, Harold Fannin, Brenton Strange, Kenyon Sadiq. Sadiq's been falling, absolutely plummeting. I think at these prices, he's worth a click. I do think that he was a little steamy to start. Um, where did Shadur go? Were you planning on? Okay, so you took Bond after Shadur went. All right. Yeah, it could have been a 10 wide receiver team. I think the extra running back is fine there. I think you're fine. Like, you have a lot of meat there in the middle. Tate, Pittman, Juwan Jennings, right? Assuming he gets a fine place. I do think one more, like, because we don't know about Noel. I think that was like Marvin Mims or something. You took Cooper there because you knew you had to. Somebody likes Omar Cooper. I don't know who that is. All right, so we got the 12 hole M3 Gatron Johnson. Let me know is it Gatron Johnson? Type it in the chat if I said it wrong. Yell at me, scold me, make fun of me. All of it's fair. We got a 4.574. I've not seen this build yet. I look forward to looking at it. And I do think that depending on where, I haven't looked at what you've done yet, but depending on how much capital you have at wide receiver and running back, it's perfectly fine. Because if you also draft an underdog, you also know that 3.573 is like the general build, right? So like you can go 5 and you can go 7. We'll see what we're doing. So quarterback, Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold, Shadur Sanders, Justin Fields. That's a lot of upside down here at the bottom. So what I'll say about this, me personally, if I have Burrow and Darnold, taking Shadur or Fields feels fine. Now, if Joe Burrow was like Dak Prescott here, because of capital, right? Because you spent all that capital at 61 on Joe Burrow, drafting the 4th quarterback is bad. If you would have taken like somebody right here, like if you would have taken Jackson Dart there instead of Joe Burrow, I think it's more likely that 4 is fine. But I don't hate 4 quarterback builds. I just think they need to be further down the board myself. Running back, Ashton Genty, Kyle Benungai, Spears, Mason, Bigsby. I would have definitely taken one of those quarterbacks and made it a tight end or a running back, probably. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, J-Mo, Mekhi Lemon, Shakir, Worthy, Shaheed, Ridley. That's a really awesome wide receiver room. Like this absolutely works. You definitely didn't need to add there. And then you definitely needed only 2 or 3. Like for me, if I spend the capital at tight end of Trey McBride plus Laporta. So on drafters, it's total point. I don't know if you're new to drafters, if you're new to this stuff, but so drafters is total points and full PPR. But if your round 2 pick sucks, you lose. Is basically what happens. So if this pick sucks, that's the only way that the extra 2 picks at the back end work, because it's a 1 position, right? Because you only start 1 tight end. Yes, you can flex, but your second tight end also has high capital. So if both of them suck and you need these guys very often, your team is toast anyway. So applying those extra picks into more capital at whatever position you feel weakest at that point makes sense to me. Like I would have taken at least one of those, probably both of those, and thrown those darts at running back. Like it even kept the 4 quarterbacks, or you could have taken 1 quarterback and 1 tight end away and added 2 running backs. Like I think the wide receiver room is awesome. I love the players that you took. I like the players you took. I don't know about the tight ends. not trying to dog on the team. I don't know how new you are. Maybe you're better at this than me. Maybe you had more success than me last year. I had success in the daily games. I didn't have a whole lot of success in Bestball. But so yesterday I had on the channel, if you want to go back, if you like what you're seeing tonight, you can go back. You can watch. I did a stream with Lutz. It was the first appearance he's had anywhere. He finished top 10 last year in the Drafters main event, and we kind of discussed some things. So if you want, like, if you are newer to the Bestball stuff, go back and watch that. He did a really good job, especially for being his first time listening or being on a stream. So, but positional value and how much capital you spend matters a lot whenever it's Bestball. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out. If you guys do want to see a video or something before you leave, just say something, or before I leave. If not, I'm going to hit the end stream button. We're going to hit the outro. We're going to go. I'll be on tomorrow. I haven't pinned down a time yet, but unfortunately, I am starting work again. I've been off for 2 months. So, so I'm not going to be streaming on Fridays anymore. We will probably do a drafters team here and there, like a drafters day here and there. And so the way I've generally been doing it, just for those of you who are new, because it looks like a couple of you guys are new, on my daily shows, if I'm by myself, my first draft is always an underdog draft. That usually gets over sometime around 5 p.m. Central. And my second draft, if I can get it to fill, I do a drafters. Drafters has a hard time to fill, so sometimes I have to back out and go to underdog to keep content rolling. But I do try to do some drafters here and there if I can get them to fill. So that is something to keep in mind. If you do like the content, come on back. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Have a great night. Peace.
Hey, we're grinding through the torment. High volume, no management. Taming souls indecent. Grinding drafts through the abyss, no rest in our veins. Feel striking like lightning, flooding endless pains. From late season voids, he's dropping all the flames. Bestball, Degens unite, shattering the chains. Old school RB stacking fury, derailing trendy trains. Who is commanding the storm etched in our brains? Who hangs? Thunder in the names, claiming all the kills. Flames, names, games. Degen wrath of fused